As if Venus retrograde wasn't enough. Nope, we just had to have a Mercury retrograde in Virgo as well. Mercury, the planet of communication and ingenuity, is entering their home sign of Virgo on July 28th. Mercury's going to stay in Virgo until October 4th. This is good news for all of you who are fans of Mercury in its home sign. I personally love Mercury in Virgo. I think it's much preferable to Mercury in Gemini. That's just me. I think it's a little bit more focused of an energy because it's an earth sign. Still very mercurial, but it's a little bit more grounded. Let's have a plan. Let's check things off the list. Mercury in Virgo can help us be very productive and help us get very organized, which I'm definitely looking forward to. But indeed, since Mercury is going to spend such an extended time, basically a little over 2 months in the sign of Virgo, that does mean that we do have a retrograde on the horizon. So Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde in Virgo on August 23rd. So yeah, that's just barely, that's like the day that Virgo season begins. So just barely at the end of Leo season here. And Mercury's going to station at 21 degrees Virgo and 49 minutes, and it's going to retrograde back to 8 degrees Virgo. Exactly. And stationing direct on September 15th. So if you've got planets between 8 degrees of Virgo and 21 degrees Virgo, almost up there to 22 degrees Virgo, or any of the other mutable signs, so that would be Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, pay attention, because this Mercury retrograde may be talking to those planets. This might also be really important if Mercury is your time lord this year, or if Virgo is your sign of the year. So yeah, pay attention. But I think everyone is wanting to pay attention to this transit, because even though we do have a Mercury retrograde, we have an extended stay of Mercury in its home sign. Mercury is both in its domicile and its exaltation in Virgo. So we get some of the best qualities of Mercury here. And, if you've been watching my channel long enough, then you know that Mercury retrogrades are not the end of the world. They're not. They can be annoying, right? Mercury snags can be very annoying, especially when you delete an important file, or you thought your microphone was off and you've said something embarrassing, that kind of thing. But it's not the end of the world usually. So yeah, Mercury retrogrades are usually opportunities for us to reassess. I think about the brain and how the brain is always wanting to eat up more and more information, and the brain is always like producing new thoughts, and it's very active, and we're always sort of on to the next thing. Mercury retrogrades are really great for integration, for being able to review material, to spend some time with some material, and to reassess an idea moving forward. So you might be very set on a plan, and Mercury retrograde is going to say, that might not work after all. And with it being Venus retrograde, it's kind of appropriate that maybe some of us are having a change of heart on something. And so Mercury in the next sign over is saying, let's formulate a different plan. Let's think about this. We're not in a hurry right now. Let's reassess. Let's take in this new information that's coming up. Because what's going to happen is that Mercury is going to station retrograde in a conjunction with Mars. So as Mercury's slowing down at the end of Virgo, it's going to be catching up to Mars. It's not quite going to make that conjunction, that official conjunction with Mars at the end of Virgo. But yeah, Mercury is going to be getting up there. And so yeah, there may be something to do with Mars that kind of tints the start of the retrograde and some of the things that we're doing. So I think with a trine to Uranus, Mercury's going to be in a trine to Uranus as well, we may be kind of reaching sort of a system overload, and we may need to figure out what needs to go. Mars is really great at cutting cords. What do we need to let go of? Where do we need to sever ties? Or how can I deviate from the system? How can I deviate from the plan a little bit? How can I break my own rules? So yeah, Virgo tends to be a sign about, it's a little bit of a perfectionist. Virgo is all about the order of operations, how we can be more efficient with something. And maybe the answer, maybe the solution to that is letting something go. So again, we're doing a lot of reassessing this month, reassessing about where our heart is, where our heart wants to go, and how to sort of make system work more for us is basically what Mercury and Virgo wants to do. How can I adapt and tailor the system to work for me a little bit better? How can I make things run smoothly? So I'm going to put a lot of brain power in right now, but then it's going to run itself is kind of the idea. So yeah, there's something with Mars. We need to cut something off or cut something out, or we need to deviate or break away from something. So let that be sort of your guiding light as we start this Mercury retrograde here at the end of the season. So while Mercury is in Virgo, though, this entire time from July 28th through October 4th, we're going to see major organizational themes, how we can get more organized. Virgo also, right now Mars is still in Virgo, and it's also really great for that. So we've got a lot of Virgo energy coming in early before Virgo season actually begins. So there's a lot that Mars and Mercury can help us with in terms of taking care of little projects. I'm already seeing myself do it as Mars is in Virgo. I've cleared out my inbox. There's just been some little house projects that have just been straggling, things that I started that weren't finished. Virgo is really great for finishing those things. So if you have little doodads around the house that you need to just finish or on your desk, Virgo energy is really great for that. So Mercury and Virgo can help you as well as Mars and Virgo right now. Mercury in Virgo, there may be a theme with organizing your technology. There may be a theme with organizing your paperwork. And the retrograde may help you sort of go back and get rid of stuff. I always use Mercury retrogrades to back up my data. I always use that as a time to go through and delete pictures off my phone and do what I need to do to organize all that stuff. It's all about efficiency here. When Mercury is retrograde in Virgo, we may experience technological difficulties. There may be some just like data that goes missing that can create some frustrations. And also there may be just the sense of I'm juggling too much, and it can kind of scatter our energy a little bit. Again, coming back to that Mars that wants to shave off some unnecessary stressors, basically, stuff that's kind of weighing us down. So yeah, the last little thing I want to share here about Mercury in Virgo and Mercury retrograde is that there's going to be a Mercury cazimi, and that's going to be at 13 degrees Virgo. So if you have something at 13 degrees in your chart that is aspect to 13 degrees Virgo, listen up, because this could be important for you. So that's going to be from September 5th, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time to September 6th, 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is your cazimi window when both the Sun and Mercury are at 13 degrees. That is going to be very clarifying for us because, that cazimi is piggybacking on a double benefic station. So right there at the beginning of September, we're going to see Venus station direct and Jupiter station retrograde in a square with one another. So there's a lot there might be a big light bulb coming off with that Mercury cazimi. There might be a big aha about how to proceed. Okay. Usually that cazimi is the turning point in the retrograde where we start to get some answers for some of the things that have been coming up and creating issues in our life for that first part of the retrograde. So the cazimi is where we start to get some of those light bulb moments and some new ideas start to kind of percolate there. At the same time, we've got Venus stationing direct and Jupiter stationing direct. So there's something about like slowing down into the sweet stuff of that weekend. And so definitely take some time to quiet your mind there. Enjoy your surroundings. Enjoy being present with, all those Venus and Jupiter things. And that may be where some of that Mercury sort of light bulb moment is kind of coming in. So pay attention. There's a lot going on there at the beginning of September. So yeah, that's a little bit about Mercury's time in Virgo. I'm sure we'll be talking more about Mercury in Virgo as they continue to make aspects with other planets. But for right now, that's your Mercury retrograde in Virgo astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Timing with Transits, my 11-week mentorship in Predictive Technique begins on September 21st. We're covering transits, we're covering perfections. We've got a blend of live and pre-recorded tutorials and ongoing support throughout the program. So if you want more information on that or you want to snag that early bird rate, head to my website, katherineurban.com.